bring you greetings from Kiel-Schleswig in Germany. I'm here with a former MP, honorable member. My name is Afotey. With the introduction, I'll just leave that for him to do the introduction himself, because maybe I might mention some credentials and I'll leave some out. So, with all due respect, we greet you, honorable.
Greetings from Ghana.
Good.
My name is Honorable Afotey Agbo, the former member of Parliament for Katamanso, former minister for Greater Accra and the Water region. We are here on a visit to the Hill as a delegation headed by our overall boss, King Professor Afotey, the third, the paramount chief of the North-Western area, the president of the vice president of the House of Chiefs, and also a member of the National House of Chiefs.
Good. Thank you very much, Honorable. We welcome you to Kiel once again.
Thank you very much.
I know you to be somebody who is so vibrant in Ghana and Accra. Yeah, but the question is, one might ask, so what exactly is the purpose of you visiting Kiel this season?
Anyway, it is always very important that we explore and find out what's going on in the outside world. Our coming to Kiel is not by our might, and it is not because we want to come and have fun. It's because the Ghanaian community in Kiel, Germany, extended an invitation to us so that we'll come and be part of their inauguration of the Ghanaian in Kiel. We were not the only people who were invited. All the Ghanaian within the diaspora were also invited. And we came as a delegation from Ghana, not only to witness and then also get the group inaugurated by the Professor King, but to also foster some relationship with the leadership of government within the Kiel community.
I think we'll come to that one.
Thank you very much.
Before we proceed, I would like to know, whenever you are going to a new jurisdiction, we all go with expectations, and I would like to know what were some of your expectations before you embark or you settle from Ghana, Accra to be precise.
The most important thing, I've been in government, and I've experienced life in government, and I've experienced life outside government. So blending the two, I've been equipped with a lot of information concerning the youth of our community. I'm talking about the entire Accra region. Because meanwhile, being here as the president of the North-Western area, it is not only that, it is focusing on the entire region of Ghana, that's Greater Accra. Because he has dual responsibility for also being the vice president of the region. He should not only be fighting and pushing for development, or be it what, only within his catchment area. He has to expand and extend the scope to cover almost every community within the Greater Accra region. So we are looking at his ideals through interactions and the discussions I've had with him. It looks like it's more focused on our youth, because if we don't get things done right at this time, there'll be a time that what we are experiencing today as a community, as a region, we are going to have a more serious situation at hand than what we are seeing now. If we don't call or we don't focus on our teen youth who are coming out of the universities. They'll be brilliant, intelligent, smart when it comes to book and knowledge. But the wisdom and directions from the leadership of the region, if they are not told, we will regret it in the future. So we have looked at leadership skills, how to get our women child also educated. So we know how people respect nurses and women who are trying to do something for themselves. In the previously, women were always being relegated to the back, and they're not allowed to come to the forefront. But today, for me as a person, I was focusing more on having more boys than having girls.
Yeah.
But by the grace of God, I had more girls than what my focus. So, and I've come to realize that women, when they are given the chance and opportunity, can do well better than even we the men. So we are looking at areas where most of our girl child will have some education in the area of health, nurses, doctors, and all that. I think these opportunities are here. There are a lot that we have to explore, so that at least we can bring our youth into the picture to benefit. If we sit at home and we don't move out, we don't step out to know what is happening in the outside world, we will end up depriving our youth from getting what they are supposed to get. That's why we leave our homes, we leave our wives, we leave our family to embark on a journey all the way to any other part of the world to get some of these opportunities to our teen youth who are back home. And besides also that, we know about the global warming situation that we have in the world.
Very critical.
That's tormenting everybody. If we don't call the attention of our people, if we don't get the expertise from the outside world to know more about global warming and the climate change situation that it brings to all of us, I think we'll be like class 1 children, and I don't think that is the best. Our leadership is focusing on this area also as part of our trip. And then above all, the filth, the plastic waste problem that we have at our beaches. And because we live, those who live, I've been in Ho, I'm talking about voter region as the leader of the region, around the surroundings of my residence, and within the community Ho, you hardly see one plastic bag on the streets of Ho.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Sure.
Why? Because one, the population is not that big as compared to Accra. They have all moved to Accra for some greener pasture, so that they can at least have some food on their table. So we are vulnerable because we are at the receiving end. Everybody is coming to our community. They are just trooping into the community day in and day out, and with different characters. So we have to, at this point, face them head on. Apart from whatever knowledge or wisdom that we have, by making a move to educate the people, there are some more that we can tap from the outside world. And in terms of logistics, government cannot do it all. We are seeing it. Zuma is there. He's striving, doing his best. He can't cover up every community. So we also as chiefs must not sit down and then look on or aloof for and expect government to do it all. So we also take a step to discuss with whoever we can discuss with. The waste management companies that we have within the community Kiel, where we are visiting. We have had meetings with them. They are also.
I'll come to that one.
Yes. So this is
I just asked of your expectations before you said you were
yes.
back on
So
the
these are some of our expectations, and I think we hope everything will work well,
sure.
so that.
Sure. You really touched on a lot of things, and I'm so much impressed about your vision before you set off from Accra to Kiel here in Germany. So the next question I would like to ask is, so far, with your expectation, have you been able to have a meeting with any of the leadership of the community Kiel?
The Ghana Way group in Kiel, and also within the diaspora, have done a very fantastic job. They've done a very fantastic job beyond our expectation.
Okay.
And with what I've experienced, I think I can say so far so good. We have been able to interact with the leadership of the community Kiel at governmental level. Okay. And our discussions have been very fruitful. And we have also been able to meet with some companies that are within the waste management sector. And it has been also very fruitful. And there's something that we are going to at least get out of interactions and meetings with these organizations. And we have also been educated, and even invitations have been extended to us again to come back and then experience more in the area of culture. You know, we have different cultures. People would like to visit or troop out or step out of their own jurisdiction to exploit and then find out what is going on. But when we want to come and learn from them, they also want to come and learn something from us, so that when they stand to tell their children and their children of what is happening outside their catchment areas, they'll be abreast with whatever they have witnessed, and then the two look so beautiful, and one will not think that blacks sleep on trees and live in caves.
No, it's long. Yeah, Honorable, we are still here with Honorable Laryea Afotey Agbo, current Regent of Katamanso. Yeah, the next question I would like to ask is, I heard you had a meeting with Etoban, the staff president in Ghana, or within our sector, we will say the city mayor. Yeah, and many a times people do visit such places. They try to meet those in power. Yeah, but the welcoming and the atmosphere is not that good. Yeah, I just want to know from your observation, when you had a chance to speak with the staff president or the city mayor of Kiel, what were you able to identify? Was he so welcoming? Did he really enjoy the conversation? Are you projecting that he has really understood your mission? And do you have the foresight, or are you seeing that they are ready to partner with you on this particular agenda that you brought in?
Let me tell you why my heart is at rest. I'll tell you this because luckily for us, whoever was the interpreter between ourselves and the mayor, the rep of the mayor, is a Ghana woman.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, not just a Ghana woman in the community, but a Ghana woman who has some responsibility or who works with the government. And they rely on him for so many things. And having this contact, not coming from any other part of our country, the Greater Accra, and well known to us, I see it as a plus, because she looks like a contact person who will be facilitating and championing our cause. That's why initially I wasn't bothering taking the contact of the chairman, rep of the mayor, because the woman I realized was so anxious and eager in making sure whatever we need from our end will be facilitated. Good. So that alone gave me some assurance and hope for the future. So in the area of our interactions and the meeting with the rep of the mayor, I think so far so good.
Oh, we thank God so much. Yeah. Honorable, the next question I would like to ask is, when from your introduction, you made mention that you came with your horse. who happens to be the president of the Nua traditional area, and also the vice president of the regional House of Chiefs. I heard he's also a member of the National House of Chiefs. Yeah. Did you come only with him, or you have other delegations that accompanied you on this trip? I'm glad if you can mention some few names that
we should have come with a bigger delegation than what the delegation that we came with. Because when we first attended the Garangwe inaugural celebration or program, we realized we needed a Wulomo to pour the libation by way of displaying culture. Because it wasn't only the Garangwe people who attended the program, even Togo community people were also there, because we are very close to Togo. The Votarians were there, some other tribes were there, and all that, and we all enjoyed together. So displaying our culture, it shouldn't have been one of the chiefs to pour the libation. It should have been a real one to pour the libation, so that they will see how we do our things back home. But at that point, because there was no Ulomo around, we relied and commanded one of the younger chiefs to stand in as a Ulomo. And then besides that, it was the same person who also took charge of the linguistic.
Oh, wow.
You know, and it wasn't the best. He was to take off his regalia and all the accoutrements that he came with, to just dress in a simple way to look like a linguist. So these are things that we are trying to amend. But the paramount chief doesn't move. There are some particular people around him.
Okay.
At least 5 of us, strong 5 around him. Then you blend us with some younger ones who will be assisting us to do things and all that, because we need them, so that one day, as we fall out or we fail out, they'll fill into our positions. So we came with unfortunately 2 of those leaders could not make it on health grounds, but we came with myself as a regent of Katamanso, and then also one of our chiefs called Neotukwe the second. Neotukwe the second is a Protihini from is the Adonting of the Nungwa estate, and Ni Udaikwe also the third. He is the Protihini of the Nungwa state, and then Ni Udiasempa, Nila Udiasempa, he also came with us. He assists our leader, the president of the General Council. He looks into his dressing, clothing, as to how to get his things managed and organized. He does that, because it's from the same house family with him, with the president. And then Nakwale Jumajiane, she's the direct sister of the president and the paramount chief, and he came with her, and one of our younger, strong chiefs that respects so much, and we can rely and count on him. And we are not panicking at this time of who succeeds us one day if we are not there. We are trying to groom some of us. In the future, there are some younger ones that will be added up to our delegation, so that at least they will all have some exposure and they know what is happening, so that I think they will all feel as part of the group.
Now with this young one, I don't know, you've not mentioned the name.
The name is, I think the younger one that I just introduced is called Nebeche. Nebeche, yes.
Okay.
The sixth, the chief of Asopochuna.
That's
I'm talking about the Sakomono area when you are going to Tema, the opposite side of
so the junction
from the junction all the way up to that point.
Okay. Yeah, and from your intro, you made us understand that I just want to come back a bit. You said you are now the regent of Katamanso. Yeah, but here we are talking about the Bimba traditional area. So one would ask, if Europeans have their problem, how does that concern Africa? Is Katamanso part of Bimba? I just wanted to make that clear for us too.
When we talk about our president and our paramount chief being the paramount chief of Numba, it's not just the Numba community Numba that we know. His powers and jurisdiction extends all the way to Ibi. Yes, so any community within the catchment area is under him, and he is the paramount chief. We may have our individual boundaries as communities for the purposes of administration and development and one or two misbehave. Even if you have your own children, they are from you. There is no way you can give two of them one responsibility. One may feel the other one will do it if he doesn't go to do it. And they will end up sitting down and no one goes to do it. So, because of, for the purposes of administration and responsibilities and guidelines, we have our boundaries within the catchment area. There is a charge. The moment he appears within your jurisdiction, your powers and everything goes down. He takes charge. If he's not there, then you can flex. And even that man, you have to be careful.
Well, then it means the mind is very big.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Yeah, so I think last but one question I would like to know from you. You know, this is something new to me because anytime I hear maybe Gadambi chiefs traveling abroad, I think it's all about fanfare. But this time it's like the projection is a bit different and you are trying to come out with something new. What I would like to know is what advice you have for the rest of our traditional jurisdictions or boundaries within the Greater Accra when it comes to traveling outside for events?
If I have to give any advice to our chiefs, I don't think I will limit it to only our chiefs. I will extend it to also our political brothers and sisters who are within other political parties. We have been identified with political party colors, and when we get the opportunity and the chance to go or to get into some positions in government, we should never forget of our other brothers and sisters.
And there is one question that is, I know our viewers, especially those in the diaspora, who wish I should have asked you. And today I have the opportunity to talk to you. I think I have to put this question across. And the question is, since like the wind of change is now blowing within the Gadambi setup, today I've seen something new, that our Gadambi traditional leaders are now moving out, taking the place of government, looking for partnership for their various communities. And you have set the pace, which I believe very soon people will also follow. Yeah. What plans or what measures do you have in place for those in the diaspora, especially Gadambis, when it comes to land acquisition? Because it has been a very big challenge for all of us. Many a times people come home, they acquire lands, and then non-Gadambis end up taking the lands from them. What measures have you put in place to make sure that Gadambis will also own land and feel comfortable at home, so that will help us in a way to always invest or to bring money back home to do something. What are some of the things that you have put in place as traditional leaders?
I think this is a very important question that you have just come up with. Hardly a government would appoint a non-indigenous to take over a particular region as the regional minister. It has been tried, and somehow it didn't work that much, because every region must have a rep to fight the cause of the region, or to fight for the cause of that region. I'm saying this because what you have just said boils down on security. Ghana people are not people who like chase money. They are not people, they are not irate what is happening on the ground or what the situation now. You may think after being given a land, the same person went back and then sold the land to somebody else. Now, as I talked to you, there are so many people in Accra who are moving out of their homes, the youth, every day, to go and then look for a vacant land and be selling to people, and then sell to people, just because of the economic situation in our country, just because of the hardship that we are experiencing in our country. They will step out, either go and then harass people on their plots that they have bought or that have been leased to them, to give them a digging fee. Meanwhile, they are not even known by the traditional leadership or the traditional area or the councils. They are not known by them. They have not been asked by any an indigene to go and then do this work for them. But they go out themselves to do it. If they are able to harass you and out of frustration, you give them something, they are gone. But it is up to the regional minister to take charge of that responsibility, to just make sure these situations are dealt with by letting the police, by getting the information from the people. That's why you need to open up as much as you can. By picking up every call that comes to you, without even knowing the person, you have to pick up the call. Because it is you that people can put their trust and confidence in, and also report to you of the grievances and the situations that they are going through. So if you have this background, you will not sit and allow your phone to ring and ring and ring and the line cut goes off. No. There may be something good coming. There may be a problem or a challenge that is coming to you that needed to be addressed. So this is why the regional minister has a very big responsibility and should not be dodging calls and running away from people's calls. And by so doing, well, I remember I had an interaction with the U.S. country aid director in charge of West Africa, when after I've been a regional minister and gone through a successful election 2012. And then when I was reappointed as the minister for Volta region, the man had to chase me all the way to Accra, to Volta region, and through our townships. The first person that he asked, Honorable, I've looked at your CV, and your profession is farming. And how did you handle Greater Accra with its population, and especially in an election year that's successful? There was no fight, there was no problem, and everything was okay. How did you do it? And I told him, I laughed, and I told him, now look, as an individual person, when you are given a responsibility in charge of Greater Accra, you can't be everywhere at the same time. So you need to open up to as many people as you can. Your telephone number must be with the public. So that even if a pin drops, you would be told.
Yeah, sure.
So this was how I managed the region.
Thank you very much.
And the man was so happy. So
Thank you very much.
this is how I see
Yeah.
the situation, not because the chiefs or Ghana people are so bad that when they give advance to people, they go back and then give it to another person.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I think because of time, we'll be coming to the end of our interview, but one last thing, it's a plea from the diasporans, which I believe they are watching us. Yeah, I'll say that before I'll ask you your final words, if you have any advice for those in the diaspora in terms of coming home with developmental issues or activities, and also in terms of how to integrate into the various systems within the diaspora. That to be our final question. But the plea that I'm putting across is that whenever we had meetings, this has been, because from what you are saying, you said you were a bit shifting the thing to the regional minister or the politicians. But we always hear people say the chiefs and the kings are the custodians of the land. They own the land. So, which means there are some powers that have invested into them to take care of our lands for us. I'll believe that going forward, when maybe you are drafting or when you are sitting at your round tables within the various traditional setups, just try and maybe put in something that will cover, especially the diasporans as well, because I know a lot of people who have the money, who want to come home to acquire land, but because of these land issues, everybody is afraid. Even Gadambes are afraid, because on their own land, they will end up buying land from non-Gadambes. So this is a plea that I'm just putting across for you to consider at your next meeting. So the final question, any advice for the diasporans, and then as to how to bring development home and how to integrate into their various systems?
I think they have an exposure, and they have learned a lot. As when you consider, when you compare them to those are people back home. So being on top and being those who have some exposure and some expertise, they should not see themselves so different from those that they left back home. For nothing at all, they have some wisdom back home. Some of them have been brought up well. So the moment you start flexing, you start showing some attitude, you won't get any of them to even come closer to you. And you will be in some total darkness. So you should always see yourselves as, yes, I have learned something. And with what I have, they don't have. So when I see them with some questionable characters, I must be smart enough and through intelligence, educate them. But if you want to push them, that's where they find themselves. That's what they've been in for so many years, since they were born. So if you want to use force to bend them, they wouldn't bend. They will rebel, or they will bounce back. So the attitude alone, and sometimes you may not understand the terrain. The terrain in Ghana is very rough. Some of us are so strong that we may attempt to deal with it head on. It's not everybody who is as strong. And when it happens like that, then they'll find it difficult blending and being with their own people. You should have a very big stomach to swallow, a very, very big heart to accommodate everybody, so that they see them as vulnerable people who do not have any exposure, and they are not on top like you people, so that we all feel at home.
Honorable, yeah, I heard when you had a meeting with the city mayor of Kiel, he made mention of, he said so far they are in partnership with about 13 cities spread across the globe. But unfortunately, they don't have partnership with any city coming from Ghana. So probably Accra might be the first city coming from Ghana that they are going to have partnership with. How true is that?
I think that is true because I have taken part in the signing of these city agreements when I was a regional minister. I did one in China, that was region to region. And I did another two in America, one in San Diego on behalf of the Katamanso Municipal Assembly, and then another one in also Norfolk, in the US, Virginia State. I also signed a state agreement on behalf of the municipality. So I know how it works. Okay. And it is true that through our interactions, we got to know that they've not had any state agreement with Ghana or with any district, even within Ghana at government level. That was why I said in our interaction that we can't leave everything for government to handle. And where we will need to bring in our local authority to add up to the chiefs or the regional minister, we will not hesitate in doing that. Because he even made mention that he is responsible for Tanzania.
Oh, okay.
And looking at his demeanor and body language, I think something good is going to happen. And above all, like I've said, we have a rep who is having so much responsibility when it comes to Kiel, when it comes to even Germany. So we just need to have that fast and periodic interactions and discussions with our sister who has this.
She's Madam Rose Seko.
Yes, as the daughter of Nana Abiyoche Rwanda, who is also like a family member. So that alone gives me that hope, the confidence that something good is going to happen.
Yeah, okay. Finally, Honorable, I also heard of the plastic recycling plant, yeah, which I think is a very wonderful thing. That when it happens within the coastal line of the Greater Gadangui or Greater Accra, it's going to serve or it's going to help us get rid of a lot of plastic. So far, when you, from what you just said, you said you had a meeting with some of the companies. How many companies were you able to have a meeting with, and what are you seeing? Are you seeing positive outcome, or I just want you to.
We have had discussions with, in the area of waste management. We have had discussions with 2 companies so far, okay. And the other waste management company that we visited, the man made mention of even linking us to another group that are directly in charge of plastics. And I believe with the help of the Ghana people back home here in Kiel, you will just continue on from where we stopped and then push for, and then attend to those meetings and then give us feedback where we will need to also come in. We will come in and then get to the bottom of the problem. I'm saying this passionately because I always drive through the Nautical College, I mean the Marine University, to the traditional, the palace of our president. And I see the plastic waste in that gutter there. Before you cross into the school, there's a big gutter that you see the plastic waste all over the place. And also when you go to the beach, not far from the Best Western Plaza Hotel, you also see the plastic waste along the coast. And I don't think that's the best. That's why some of us are itching, and we will always advocate for this problem to be a thing of the past.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I think this is a very wonderful thing that we are all looking forward to. Our chiefs has really done well, and I'm really happy that Honorable has touched on that. Looking for partners that will establish a plastic recycling plant within the Greater Accra region is a wonderful thing. And then with them talking to the city mayor to have a partnership, city sister partnership agreement with them, I think to go a long way in bringing our youth out of, let's say, their jurisdiction to learn new things in the diaspora. So let's all be praying and then be looking forward to it, which I believe, because they have made a step, surely Ganame will get there. Thank you very much once again.